One of the simplest things that you can do to create more power and generate more consistency in your ball striking and your control in your golf game is to make sure that you're shifting your weight correctly throughout your swing. And it's a very simple concept and a very simple thing to practice, but it's something just like your grip and your alignment and your posture. It's one of those fundamental things that can be really easy to overlook, and it creates so many negative side effects if we start doing it wrong. In this video, we're going to go through the weight shift and what should be happening in your golf swing, why it should be happening, and also give you a few very simple ways to work on this. And then I have one of the simplest swing thought hacks, if you will, that I'm going to share at the end of the video. I am going to save that for last. Number one, because it hopefully will keep you engaged and increase our watch time, which is very important to our channel. But number two, I do think it's something that it's better if we save it for last so that I can kind of build up to it. When you swing the golf club, we're going to start our swing with our weight pretty evenly balanced. Some golfers may want to shade just a little bit more to the left side, but for the most part, it's around 50-50 on each foot. As you take the club back, you're going to get the majority of your weight loaded into your right leg. And as you shift back to the left, you're going to transfer that weight over to the left side. That's pretty basic stuff. You probably already knew that. But when we start shifting our weight, we start to do one of two things wrong oftentimes. Number one, we start to sway. This is my preferred poison, I suppose, as Tony pointed out very eloquently in the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I said I had a little bit of a sway, and he said, no, you have a lot of a sway. Because when I first start to work on trying to get my weight to my right side, the first thing that I do is load all of the weight to the right side without turning. So while you are shifting the weight to the right, you're also going to be turning your body with it. And with that, the weight should specifically be working back towards the inside of your right heel. If I sway, that weight's going to tend to want to get on the outside of my foot, where if I turn correctly, that weight is going to stay on the inside of my right leg all the way to my back right heel. The sensation you should feel there is that the weight should be from your big toe extended back in a straight line back from your big toe. That's where you should feel the pressure on your foot, on your trail side, as you turn it back. So for a right-handed golfer, that's going to be your right leg. Left-handed golfer, it would be your left. But you should feel that pressure on the inside of that right foot. Some golfers will straighten the right leg. That's fine. You don't necessarily have to do that. But as you turn back, you should feel that pressure going right down through the inside of your right leg. Then as you start to shift back to the left, it's going to be the opposite. You're going to feel the weight on the left side, but you don't want to get it way out here. This is a move that I'm really bad for. I'll shift it back here, and then I'll shift it here, and now I'm falling over. And I'm constantly hitting this shot where I'm sort of chasing after it after I hit it. Because as I'm rotating down, I'm so focused on the lateral shift that I forget the rotational part of it, right? You are rotating as you're shifting, and then you're also rotating as you shift here. And if I let my weight get all the way over here and get to, straight line with that weight shift, it's going to run out. It's going to continue to move from my right foot to the inside of my left foot, and then eventually outside of my left foot, and then I'm going to topple over. And a really, really simple way that I like to work on this is, I'm going to put the golf club down here. Depending on your current level of athleticism, I don't want you to hurt yourself doing this, but one way that I found is a simple way to get the sensation right of where the weight should be and where you should feel the pressure in each leg is to do one-legged jumps, okay? So if I just pick my left foot off the ground and I'm going to jump off my right foot, if you do this, you start to notice that if I let my weight get over to my right side, I'm going to start to topple over, okay? If I stand here and just try to jump, I start to notice that each time I land, watch my foot. My foot's always kind of adjusting so that my right knee is going to want to turn back in to stay in a straight line over my foot. If I let my right knee flare out this way and jump, when I land, I'm going to always kind of rotate it back to the inside of the foot to maintain my balance, because to stay balanced on one foot, I'm going to want to keep it on the balls of my feet or sort of shaded towards the inside where my big toe is. So as I'm doing this one-legged jump, I'm sort of starting to feel that I'm pushing off more with my big toe on the way up than I am with the smaller toes. Because when I push off the smaller toes, this is a lot harder than I was expecting it to be for a video. But if I push off of the outside of my foot when I land to maintain the balance, I'm going to shift it back to the center so I don't fall over. Same thing, you can do this on the left as well. And you just kind of see that as I'm pushing off, when I land, I'm trying to land more on the big toe than I am getting it out here on the outside. So again, I don't want you hurting yourself. If jumping is a little bit too much, you can just stand there and just kind of do heel raises also. It's going to give you the same sensation. Just try to feel like you're kind of pushing off with your big toe, and then switch to the other side and kind of feel like you're pushing off with the left leg. And that's going to create for you the sensation in your legs that will show you where the pressure needs to be. So as I'm going to the golf swing now, I'm creating that same pressure, trying to push with the right, push off the right toe as I rotate my body. And that'll give you that sensation where you're feeling a lot of pressure on the inside of the right foot on the way back, or the trail foot. And then as you shift back through, same thing, feeling like that weight is running up and down the inside of your lead leg as you rotate through the shot. If you're still watching this video, please take a couple of seconds and hit the like button. It's super easy. It doesn't cost anything, and you can even do it while I'm still enhancing your technical prospects. You don't even have to pause the video. Just go find the little thumbs up button and click on it until it turns black. Hey, while you're at it, subscribe to the channel also. It's a free subscription, and it's not like you're even going to get a monthly email newsletter. The worst that can happen is that you may see a few more of our videos, which, hey, depending on the day, may not necessarily be a bad thing. An important thing to take note of is when the weight shift occurs as well. Because I think for a lot of golfers, we think, okay, we're going to start neutral. We're going to get it to the top of the swing. At the top of the swing, our weight's going to be entirely on our right side. And then we're going to shift it down to the left in the downswing. And I'm not going to get into the technicals of exactly and precisely what positions of the swing the weight is specifically being shifted. A channel like Athletic Motion Golf is a great resource. They have some videos that may dive into that a little bit more. But for me, I want to talk about the feel of this. I'm actually going to feel like the very first thing that I do off the ball is go ahead and load that right side up. I've never been on pressure plates to see exactly where I'm at with this, but when I'm doing this right, the sensation that I'm going for is going to be that by the time the club is about parallel to the ground, I'm already pretty much on my right side and can lift that left leg up. I'd like to feel like I can kind of stand here for maybe not for days. I'm kind of struggling with it right now, but I'd like to feel that by the time the club is parallel back, I've already got that weight fully into that right side, because you want that load to happen quick in the golf swing. You want to go ahead and get the weight loaded to the right side early on. As you're going into the top of the swing, now I'm actually already starting to float my body back to the left a little bit. So by the time I get into the top of the swing, I'm probably going to be a little bit closer to 50-50, maybe not exactly 50-50 at the top, but because that shift has already kind of started to happen and I've already started to bump back to the left a little bit, I'm going to be getting pretty close to even weight distribution on my feet at the top. Definitely by the time the club is back down to parallel to the ground on the way down, I'm going to have my weight starting to get into that left side. And then as I go into impact, yes, I am going to have it completely, hopefully, on my lead leg by the time I'm contacting the ball. If you just make a mental note as you're starting the swing to go ahead and get the weight into your right side as a part of your takeaway, that's going to help set up the rest of the swing. And by going ahead and getting that weight loaded over to your trail side early in the swing, it's going to give you more time to have a nice smooth transition as you transition not only the arms, but also the body back to the left, so that you can maintain a really solid rhythm throughout the swing. And Tony has a great drill to work on this rhythm and this pattern. And it's just a super simple drill. In this drill, we're going to line up 4 or 5 golf balls in a straight line here. And we're going to start off just in our regular golf stance. And we're going to step and swing. And we're just going to repeat this over and over as I walk down the line. So step, swing, step, swing, step, swing, swing, step, swing. And as I'm going through this drill, take note of what I'm doing in the drill. As I am stepping into the swing, I'm getting my weight on my right side as I'm taking the club back. This is pretty natural for us, because when we walk, all we're doing when we're walking is shifting our weight. We're shifting it totally to our right side. Then we're pushing off, landing on the left. And then at the moment when we're walking, if we're running, this wouldn't be the case, but if we're walking, when we have both feet on the ground, it's somewhere evenly distributed, maybe not exactly 50-50, but there does come a point in that stepping process where it evens itself back out. Then you apply the pressure with your right, land on the left, apply with the left, land on the right. So as you're walking, you're naturally shifting your weight back and forth in a very rhythmic kind of way. So this drill just gives you a chance to feel that sensation while you're hitting a golf ball, so that it introduces that correct timing to your body of, hey, this is how my weight needs to be shifting, so that I'm not trying to do it so rigidly. I'm not trying to think, okay, get it to my right, and then, okay, now get it here, and now move it back to the left. You're not thinking about it so much. Just a very natural and rhythmic way to get your body shifting its weight as you're hitting a golf ball. Another thing that I will do to work on my weight shift is just hit some golf shots, just normal golf shots, where I will actually pick the off foot up off the ground, so that I don't have a choice but to make sure that I'm shifting my weight correctly. I wouldn't recommend playing golf this way necessarily, but sometimes I'll just hit some golf balls where, if I want my weight to be on my right side early in the swing, one way to make sure that that happens is to pick my left foot off the ground. Then I don't have a choice but to get my weight on my right side. And then as I'm transitioning to the top and I want to get it back to the left a little bit, I'll put the left foot back down. And then as I come into impact, since I want to make sure it's all fully on my left side, I'll pick my right foot up. This might cause you to stumble around a little bit as you're learning your way around how to do it, but it forces you to figure out how to catch yourself with the correct leg. So as I'm hitting a couple of shots here, there, I had to kind of catch myself on the left leg to make sure that I didn't topple over. And if I try this and do it the wrong way, say I try to sway and do this. Okay, that's not going to work. What if I try to sway on the way back down? Again, not going to work. So the only way to do this and not fall all over the place is to make sure that as you're shifting, that weight is staying in the correct place on your foot, and you're keeping the pressure in the right place as you're swinging the golf club. Step through it. So even there, I fell over just a little bit, had to catch myself on the way back down because I let that weight get a little bit too far on the outside of my lead leg on the way through impact. That was a little better. Again, wouldn't recommend playing golf that way, but not a terrible way to practice getting the sensation of getting the weight moving back and forth at the correct time in your golf swing. Now, one of the most surprising tips that I guess I ever give when someone comes over to me at Sully's or at the driving range, anytime weight shift starts to come into the conversation somehow, I always give this little tip or nugget of advice, whatever you want to call it. And I've learned from seeing the reaction on people's faces that it's not what they are expecting, or maybe not something that they've ever really heard before. I've even gotten some feedback from people on that. One of the errors that we can make sometimes in trying to think about our weight shift is that we tend to maybe want to push off of the leg we're trying to get off of, right? So like in the top of my backswing, I want to get my weight to my right side. So maybe I would push off with my left. And then when I get to the top of the swing, I want to get to the left. So now I'm going to push off with my right. And you can make that work. I'm not saying that that can't work out, but I actually take it the opposite way. I look at it and say, okay, if I push off, in order to push off of something, you have to apply pressure. That's just the way the laws of physics work. So I kind of take that the opposite direction and say, okay, if I want my weight to go to my right, I want to feel my left get light. So as I'm taking it back, I'm not trying to think about get pressure on the right. I'm trying to think about remove pressure from the left. So on the way back, I'm feeling left foot light, even it back out. Now right foot light. Trying to focus maybe more on the foot you're trying to take the weight from rather than the side you're trying to get it to could be a more effective way for you and your body to process what that weight shift needs to feel like. Because for me, if I start trying to feel like, okay, load up on the right or, push off of the left, I'm going to apply pressure to the left leg to do that. And I may end up staying stuck there for a while. That's a really easy way to maybe get yourself caught in a reverse weight shift where on the way back, you're spinning, and then on the way back, spinning it back again. And you're thinking, man, I'm shifting as far as I can, and then I'm still staying stuck in this position. And that's where I like the stepping drill, but also the drill where you just hit golf balls, picking a foot off the ground, because you don't have a choice but to do it the right way. If I pick my left foot up and don't get the weight to my right side, I don't know what I want to do. I guess I have to fall over. There's not really another option there. So same thing in the golf swing. As I'm taking the club back, I try to feel like the foot that I'm trying to get away from gets a little bit lighter, and then by consequence of that, the foot that I'm trying to transfer to is going to catch that weight. And then as I come back down, I'm going to lighten the right foot or the trail foot so that the left leg has no choice but to catch it. And I think as you're practicing this, don't be entirely surprised or even discouraged if your left foot may even start to come off the ground a little bit, certainly your left heel. And I have even in practicing this gone through a series of shots where maybe I go and hit 4 or 5 balls, and then afterwards I'll go back and maybe if I video my swing, go back and look at playback, and I'll even start to notice that once in a while, if I'm working on this, I may find myself at the top of the swing with my left heel off the ground, or maybe even this little subtle step where my left foot comes off the ground a little bit. And it surprises me because I'm usually hitting the ball pretty well when I'm doing that. And I'm thinking, man, that looks terrible. I need to work on that. But I'm not saying that it's ideal, and I definitely am not suggesting that you go out and play your club championship, hitting golf shots like you're in a marching band. But if Scotty Scheffler has proven anything to us over the last few years, it's that you can get by with unorthodox footwork as long as whatever you're doing leads you to the correct weight shift in your golf swing. So I don't think it's the worst sin in the world if you do end up having your left foot come off the ground just a little bit. I know when I'm really trying to focus on getting that right side loaded up as much as I can, sometimes that left does come up a little bit. I'm never in here at the top of the swing, but sometimes I will just have a subtle little step, almost like a baseball player in the box as they kind of step towards the pitcher. It's almost that kind of a thing that may start to creep in. Again, I'm not telling you to do that, but sometimes as I'm trying to work on that, feeling that left foot get a little light in the backswing, sometimes it will get so light that it kind of comes off the ground. And when I say that this is, it's one of the best overall fundamental things to work on your golf swing, because it's going to help to guard against and prevent some really dangerous flaws from creeping into your swing. I mean, if you start swaying too much, now your body has to do all kinds of weird things to keep from falling down, and your body's just all out of whack. At the end of the day, golf swing is a very simple movement. Your body is simply turning back and turning through, and then your arms are just kind of going up and coming down. But once when your weight shift is off, that throws your body into all kinds of weird types of motions that then is going to lead your arms to all kinds of weird types of motions, which is going to cause your hands to start flying all over the place trying to find the golf ball. So it's not going to be a 100% guarantee that you're going to hit a good golf shot just because you have your weight shift correct, but it is going to put you really behind the 8 ball if you're not doing it the right way. But when you do shift the weight correctly, that gives you the maximum momentum potential from the top of your swing, because now you've got a lot of weight to get back to the left side, and because of just the rotational momentum that you've got with the swing, as that weight shifting to left is getting everything kind of falling down naturally to the ball. You're going to have more of a downward strike on the golf ball, which is what you're looking for with your irons, and it's going to create maximum club speed and also maximum lag into the ball. Because if I'm here at the top of the swing, and then I kind of reverse my weight shift kind of and fall back this way, it's going to cause the club to want to fly out and up too soon. And then you get that kind of flippiness, where if I'm stepping down, I'm getting the hands moving down to the ball quicker, which is keeping the club head higher and in that lag position longer. And you just get a lot more pop right at the bottom of impact where you're looking for it. So if you're working on your weight shift, the next time you're at the driving range, I would start off by doing a couple of these little light heel raises or one-legged jumps, just to kind of get a feel for where that pressure is supposed to be in your swing. And then even if you don't have golf balls, you don't want to do the walking drill. The walking drill is something you don't have to have a golf ball for that. You can walk around your backyard all day long and just swing back, swing through, swing back, swing through. As you're walking, you can do this anywhere, even without having a golf ball that you're going to hit. That's going to help you with the rhythm. And then as you're going through your warm-up, if you're going to go try to play or you're going to be practicing, hit a couple of these shots where you pick it up, put it back down. And then as you go into your golf swing, just try to have that sensation, a little bit of that that left foot or that lead foot getting a little light early in the swing, getting the pressure back on it through the transition, and then getting the right foot really light as you're going down through the impact zone. And this is something that if you're not already shifting your weight correctly in your swing, it should generate a much higher quality ball strike, a lot more consistency, and probably a heck of a lot more power as well. Hope this video helps. Feel free to comment below and let us know what you thought of it. And also, I'm always looking for creative ideas for new videos. So let us know in the comments below what you're working on in your golf game and how Tony, Mike, and I might be able to help. And we'll see what we can do about putting together a video for you soon.